All right, let's go ahead and hear this car. I'm gonna open it up, start in first gear. Downshift. Hello everyone, so this is my 2015 Lexus RCF. This is the performance package, and today I'm going to be doing a short review of this thing. So I got it around 2.5 months ago, and one of the main reasons as to why I got it is because I wanted an F car. I've always loved Lexus, and you can see I haven't really done much for the car. All I've done was a muffler and resonator delete. I've also lowered it on Megan Racing coilovers, and I'm also going to show you some smaller modifications as well. I don't have a tune yet. I don't have a side skirt or spacers yet. I do need to get those. And I also painted the calipers, which I'll show you here in a second. I was kind of too lazy to paint the rear ones here, but I'll get to those eventually. And you can see I painted them this red color. I literally just got it off of Amazon. It took me around like 6 hours to do because I was very careful with how I painted it, and I wanted to put an equal amount of coatings on it, and then I just put the F stickers on. You can see I have it for this side as well. And I also have the wing extenders with the F symbol on them, which you can get from, it's a Canadian company. It's called Forming Labs. And I got those for around $300. And as most RCF owners get, I got these fake carbon mirror caps off of eBay for like $40. And this is the performance package. So the roof is OEM carbon fiber, and so is this spoiler right here. When I originally got the car, I thought this was all aftermarket, but it wasn't. And you can see here the engine bay. I haven't done much as well. I just love how the manifold here is just stock blue, like it just comes like that from a factory. That's an amazing touch that they did for F cars. So to access the trunk, there's a button on the back here. Just press that, opens up. You get plenty of space in here, which is pretty surprising for a coupe. You get access to the back seats as well. Now if we take a look at the interior, you can see how we have these amazing red seats here. I really wanted this option because I don't really like any of the other colored seats. They sort of look bad. The carbon fiber on the buttons right here, it kind of faded. So my car doesn't have that many miles on it. It's around like 86 or 87,000 miles. And the carbon clear coat or whatever is starting to fade, which isn't that big of a deal for me. I can get that redone. The cool thing as well about the steering wheel is that it has blue and white stitching. So there's also a F symbol on the steering wheel, and it has, I believe, 4 different modes. So you have Sport, Sport Plus, and then also Eco mode, and then regular mode. And if you're just cruising on the highway, Eco mode is good because it just cuts out the unnecessary use of emission, so the power will be a little bit lower. And you can also see here that the pedals are actually quite heavy, and this is very common for F cars as well. Now, one thing that is kind of funny is that Lexus has these clocks here. This was very prominent. I'm not really sure. I think they have them in the new models too, but they put this in the RCF, and honestly, I don't even use it. Probably it's telling the wrong time, but that's there. Another cool thing is that it has these AC adjusters here. So if I start the car, you can actually adjust the temperature by using this knob here. Well, it's not a knob, it's more of like touch screen, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if that's unique to Lexus, but it's a pretty cool feature. It also has navigation. Other than that, I mean, in terms of space, you're not really getting much there. You see in the back seat, there's 2 seats there. I have never sat back there, neither have I had people sit back there. Not much you can do, but I just throw my stuff there and call it a day. The leather on these seats are pretty nice too. I think Lexus in general has the best quality designs and just quality in general when it comes to these leather seats. And then also, the gas mileage kind of sucks. So obviously with a V8, you're going to be getting around 15 miles per gallon. And that's not really going to be good for a commuter car. I mean, if you don't commute and you work from home, then that's great. Or maybe your commute's not that far away. But I get anywhere from like 15 to 18 miles per gallon with this car. And you can see here, I have 87,000 miles on it. I got the car when I had around 86,000 miles on it. Miles per gallon, guys, miles per gallon. But so far it's been fun. Because I have the performance model, this is just blank here, like there's nothing here. There's no sunroof, and honestly I like it like that because I do love the carbon roof. I thought I was going to regret it, but now the blind spots on this car are pretty bad. So it has a rear window there behind this seat, but you can't see through it unless you're looking, unless you do a complete 180 with your head and break your neck, but you can't see that. So the blind spots kind of suck. You can see as TVD, and then you can adjust the modes like I was showing earlier here. If I'm just cruising on the highway, I'll just put it in eco mode. And if we look in this console here, we have a cigarette lighter output right there. And then we have some USB and then aux ports as well. It's a decent sized cubby here. Kind of looks like it doesn't have that much space because I have all this crap in here. I literally have a radar detector and my dash cam, but decent space, not too bad. And when it comes to the sound system, you guys, pretty standard. Mark Levinson, I mean, I'm not really that much of a sound guy or care that much about audio quality. As long as it's decent or basic, that's fine with me. More times than not, I care more about the exhaust noise. I'd rather hear that as my music than listen to actual music 24/7. It also has decent space right here. You can see, got a couple things in there. I have the user manual, some of my registration, some wipes, my Bluetooth OBD2 sensor. And what's cool is that once you get this car, you can actually adjust how high you want the wing to be up. You can make it stay up. I know that was a big thing for me. It's like I wanted the wing to stay up while I was driving. Has standard parking sensors as well. Overall drivability of this car is really easy. Like there's nothing to it. And that's what I really love about this car. Lexus really knows how to fine tune the steering, the gearing, and it is a luxury brand after all. So all the different comforts of the car just makes this thing super easy to drive. I don't have to worry about anything. And the downshifts too, the rev matching, you can't beat it. It's just signature F car, man. I'm sure one thing that a lot of you guys are probably wondering is like, does the F car have a distinct V8 noise compared to other V8s? And the answer to that is yes. This V8 in this car is very fine-tuned. If you guys did not know, the ISF has the same V8, and it was actually manufactured with Toyota and Yamaha. They collaborated together to create the motor, the 2UGR, I believe, or 2UR, I forgot. But this car is very distinct. The V8 is very distinct. It's not like a super aggressive one that you'll hear in a GT350 or maybe in like an AMG car, but it's very fine-tuned. And that's exactly what Lexus does. They love to fine-tune their cars and make them sound distinct, but also quiet and sort of like and luxurious at the same time. Now this car is definitely really fun. It's the most fun car I've ever had. So this is my third Lexus, and my first Lexus was a 08 IS350. My second one was a GX460, and then I got this car. In terms of like reliability and stuff like that, like I said, I've only put around 1,500 miles on it. And I mean, it is a Toyota. These things you can beat up, abuse, and as long as you put oil in it, as long as it has gas in it, you do the maintenance, you're good to go. Like my 08 IS350 that I had, it had 189,000 miles, and all I had to do was maintenance on it. I thought that it had like piston ring issues and stuff like that, but honestly, when I did the valve cover gasket, I did it the wrong way. One of the spark plug gaskets I put in upside down, so it was still leaking oil. but that was a user error. That was my fault. And the cool thing about these cars too is that with the power that it has, it's an 8-speed transmission. It has 470 horsepower. And the only thing that you have to worry about, and this is infamous for all F cars, is the valley plate leak. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with it so far. I mean, I haven't put that many miles on the car yet, but I've seen them start to leak around 100,000 miles. And I thought, honestly, when I got this car, that it was going to be fixed because it's a 2015. It's relatively new, not so new, but I thought they fixed that in the previous F cars with the ISF. Or any F car, just get like a pre-purchase inspection or ask them if they got the valley plate checked. And if not, if it does start leaking, it's going to cost around $1,500 to reseal it. Another thing to mention too is that these cars have a 0 to 60 of around 4.4 seconds. So it's going to be able to beat Scat Packs. It's going to be able to beat some older M cars. And to be honest with you, there are other cars in this price range that may be better, maybe faster. But for me, like, I love Lexus, I love Toyota. They're reliable to me, and they look good. They have decent power, and that's all I could really ask for. I don't really care if a car has 500 or 600 horsepower, because if you're on the main roads, 400 horsepower is plenty. Now, one big con of this car, it's probably the worst of all, is that aftermarket parts are pretty expensive. And compared to the ISF, it's pretty expensive because not many people buy these cars. Not many people buy Lexus RCF. So let's say you're trying to get headers, or you're trying to get a Meisterschaft exhaust or something like that. It's going to be exponentially more expensive than if you were to do those same modifications with the ISF. And that's because the parts are a lot more limited. There's not that much demand for them. And on top of that too, the tunability of this car isn't all that great either. If you want to get like 500 plus wheel horsepower, you're going to have to spend at least around $5,000 to $6,000 for full bolt-on. Like, all I've done to this car is just exhaust, lower down coilovers, like a tuned PPE headers, a full custom exhaust. Man, it's going to cost at least $5,000 to $6,000. And if you were to put that into another car, let's say an M car, you can easily just make 600 to even 800 horsepower. But at the end of the day, these cars really aren't known for their tunability. They're more known about being a practical car that's more of like a gentleman's car that combines sportiness with luxury. And I personally was trying to get an ISF before this, but I couldn't get approved for them because they're older now. They're over 10 years old, which kind of sucks. So no one really wanted to approve me for one, but they did approve me for this car. And to be honest with you, if I had to choose between the both in terms of the tunability, the aftermarket parts, and the overall cost, I'd probably go with the ISF. There's just so many more forums and information online about these cars compared to RCFs. But in overall looks, the RCF definitely looks a lot better. But overall, you guys, that is my opinion about the Lexus RCF. I think this is an amazing car. I don't have any regrets getting this car. And honestly, I don't really know how long I'll keep this. Maybe a couple years, maybe 5 years. After this, I do want to get a Corvette, maybe a C8, maybe a C7 Z06. That would be awesome. Or who knows, maybe I'll get an M car, or maybe an AMG. All I gotta say is that it at least has to be a V8. But if you're the type of guy that wants practicality, power, reliability, and looks all in one, this is definitely a car for you. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.